David Ayer, director of Suicide Squad, will return for more Harley Quinn hijinks in the newly titled Gotham City Sirens. This is a surprising appointment considering the highly publicized studio meddling with his vision for Suicide Squad. So with me to discuss these announcements are Daniel Radford and the one and only Andy Signor. Andy, you seem a little verklempt.
Well, look, I was one of those people, I saw Suicide Squad. I had fun with it. Like, I didn't hate it so much. And then as it settled, I learned how bad and realized how stupid it was. Look, it's a bad movie. What's so frustrating to me about this news is, like, is DC not learning anything? Like, why are we jumping into another squad? Is it just me?
Squad goals. Squad goals. Here's my thing, though. The squad that they're creating here, I think, sounds dope.
So did Suicide
Poison
Squad.
Ivy, you have Catwoman, and you have Harley Quinn. And the thing about Suicide Squad that you have to give up is that Margot Robbie was amazing. No? No.
Just because they have good characters doesn't mean you throw them all into a blender and make another movie. Make a good script. They're literally making movies based off, like, I feel like they have action figures on their desk. They're like, hey, this one sells and this one sells. Throw them in a movie. Let's go make the movie. Like, get your shit together. Sorry.
Everyone loves Taylor Swift's squad, so maybe they were like, this is just our way of making, like, a superhero Taylor Swift squad.
Look, and there's a way to do it. Like, these are great characters, right? But it's like, this reeks of desperation. This reeks of, well, Suicide Squad made money. These characters are popular. Let's just make another squad. How about, instead of revealing that we're doing Gotham City Sirens, why don't we reveal we hired a fantastic screenwriter to write a fantastic story? Like, why can't we, like, focus on that first anymore and, like, actually have someone passionate to do it?
Okay, but there are people who I think would say that David Ayer is a great director. Suicide Squad, it is so hard to know what was Suicide Squad, his version, and what was the studio version of that. Like, we really are never going to truly understand what we could have had. But if you look at his other properties, I think he's a great writer. I love Street Kings. I think that if you look at, Fury has some great stuff. I think that with Suicide Squad, it's such a minefield. Because the truth is I like it, I don't love it, it's not something I need to revisit, but when I think about it, the stuff I think about is Margot Robbie. My only frustration is you don't have to surround her with more people. We were talking about this earlier today, is what sort of standalone Harley Quinn movie would you want to see? And I'm a little frustrated that instead of being like, we can give her her own thing, they were like, we don't trust it just with her, put Poison Ivy and Catwoman in it. But what do you think, Danielle? What would you like to see? Who would you like to see in this? Oh.
You know, I like the DC Sirens book. That is a book that I've read that I've really, really enjoyed. I think that there has always been a great chemistry between that great relationship that you have between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. Mm-hmm. Again, we're just kind of speculating that because that's the book that this is going to be who it is. They haven't even introduced, a Catwoman or a Poison Ivy, so we don't even know what that's going to look like. But I kind of don't mind the idea of like a Thelma and Louise, Catwoman, get those together. Again, I did say it earlier today that I would kind of like to see that Natural Born Killers with the Joker and Harley. I would be all in on just like a crazy, like, Thelma and Louise chase across the country with, like, those. I don't know how they're going to do it. I assume it's going to be some kind of heist movie because these are all kind of thieves and
that would be too ballsy for them. I don't think
it's going to be another origin story?
Imagine if we did do the Dead Poe road, or even what at least seems like Logan's doing. Like, let's take away from the DCU and just do like a road trip movie with Harley and Poison Ivy, and we'll lower budget. We're gonna ground it. We're gonna get someone really good to get the dialogue going and make it a fun script. And it's just a sort of a side vehicle. DC has just been terrible at developing those to get us excited. They're so obsessed with the team ups and, like, we gotta have our Avengers. We gotta put all ththese characters together. And I'm just getting so fed up with it. Like, we're at saturation level. You gotta be more creative. And just because she was good doesn't mean, oh, great, let's throw her within their team up. It just, look, we don't know enough. We're speculating, but I'm just getting, I'm getting frustrated because everyone on DC gets so emotional and thinks we're just ragging on. Like, I love these characters. And I just feel like they're being rushed. They're being pointed on like a chessboard without any thought, like without the rules of how the game works. And they're just sort of willy-nilly, and I'm sick of it.
Okay.
I'm sick of it.
So I will admit, I was a Gal Gadot naysayer in the beginning because I didn't love love her in the Fast and Furious franchise, and I wasn't sure how she was going to be as Wonder Woman. I think that Wonder Woman looks so dope, it's not even funny. I loved her in BVS. I'm very excited to see what they do with that character. You've got Patty Jenkins, who I think looks like she did an incredible directorial job. Would this have been a property better handled by a female director? Should they have given this to maybe a woman, or is that just too many ladies in one squad?
Oh, they might all sync up together, and then what would happen?
Oh my God, everyone's got their period, you guys. We just all have to go die.
But I mean, there is a action writer who was a woman who was helming this, Geneva Robertson Dwert. I'm going to get comments on that. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm good with it. So that is something. I would have loved to have seen it with a female director. I think that would have been great. But I'm always going to be like, if you're going to have these really fun female stories, why not put like a female action director up there and get that? I don't know. I don't know if I think that Ayer is the guy that I'm excited for this. And it's almost, I wonder how excited I would have been if it wouldn't have been mentioned that he was going to be helming it.
Well, what about the fact that Jeff Johns is involved and that he is sort of overseeing it? Because we keep saying he's the Kevin Feige of the DCEU.
He's yet to show me a single thing that makes me excited. And I don't know the guy. Kevin Feige steps in, and he's a good guy at PR.
Sure.
And sort of making it clear what he's doing. Look, everyone keeps saying, Jeff Johns, but Jeff Johns. Like, what does that mean? Show me results, Jeff Johns. I love these movies. I believe you love these movies. What are you doing? Oh, you're hiring Ayer again? Seems like you guys hated each other. Like the amount of drama that was on that movie and the amount of stress. I get it, but it's like, God, like, try something new. Take a chance. You have so much money. They clearly don't care. There's 6 weeks in a script. Like, find someone who's actually outside your box that you're going to have some comfort level with, and just try. Just try it. You'd be surprised. It's like, find that, like, passionate Kevin Smith person who's actually going to challenge you and, like, make sure the movie's good and, like, has not fan service, but is a fun thing. I just feel like there's so many cooks, and then to have, it's like a pro and a con, right? Because he's been through the drama. So now you can say, well, Ayer knows how to deal with the Warner Brothers people,
right.
So maybe it is a better call. But oh my God, this whole thing just is so much drama. Plus, didn't the creator of Harley write the script or something? What's his name?
The creator of the characters for the animated
Why isn't
series.
he doing it?
That would have been great. I would love if we could get some Dini and some Bruce Timm up on this. I love that.
I want some animated series drama and
That's where
script
I
writing
fell in love with Harley
in this
Quinn.
world.
I mean, that was where my first introduction to her was, and I think that would be awesome. But all right, there's a lot of stuff like David
He's doing
Ayer.
the animated movies too, right? I think
Bruce Timm has been the one who's the animated movies have been knocking it out of the park.
Okay,
they're so good.
Here's my biggest concern, because I honestly, despite the passion which I
passionate,
love, I do think this could be great. My one fear is it feels like this is going to be real rushed. Real rushed. I just wonder, like, we don't have a release date yet, but we know that there is that unknown slot that is sort of sitting out there in 2018. And now that we know that Ben Affleck said, I'm not rushing the Batman, are they going to try to cram this in?
Yes.
Yeah, could
money.
be.
It's because of money, right?
Yeah. I mean, money's dope. I get it. But
Money is dope.
These characters are doper. There's more money to be made of these characters. They'd be making, look, Batman, Superman, all these movies made money. They were hits. They would be such bigger hits if they just took a little bit more time to really find the story out of them and beat it out more and do it right. It's like they don't seem to understand that that's valuable. And it is valuable because we can only be pummeled so many times by this content. The script is paramount, and it's like you need to have that taken. That should take years to beat those out. And that's what's so frustrating me they also need to figure out their standalone characters. Like this fact that DC needs to keep throwing them together to do it. Marvel has earned that right. It's not about the comparison, but that's not how they started. We didn't start with Avengers, right? We had Captain America, we had Thor, we had an amazing Iron Man movie, and then they built them up. Like, they cannot figure out who to own and what, and then it's like the Flash movie, what's going on with it? Like, it's like, well, Margot Robbie, they liked Harley Quinn. Let's throw some more villains around her and we'll try it again.
But the chances are is that if this is successful and if it is handled hopefully well, they could spin out Poison Ivy. They could spin out Catwoman. Maybe there will be a cool villain that we don't know about yet, or maybe there will be a cool hero that comes up against them. Maybe this is their way of trying to create properties that they do feel like will have longer legs, because there are problems with finding a director for The Flash. There are some other issues going on behind the scenes. So what do you need to feel like this is going to be confident and great?
Danielle, do you have a feeling?
I love that Andy's like, I need a deep breath, and Andy's all cycled up. He is just.
You know, I do think that if we are assuming that they're going with the same characters from the comic, you can't. I don't want to say like, well, you can't win with a Catwoman, because Lord knows you can lose with Catwoman. I do love that movie as well, guys. That movie is
Killer
fantastic.
basketball scene.
Isn't it amazing? Oh, it's so good. But I want to believe that when you take into account the relationships that those characters have, and again, not, you know, and if you really build it on not so much these big, you know, things are going to blow up set pieces, which I think is kind of also what the fear is, but if you can build it on the relationships of those characters and flesh out Harley as more than, you know, the crazy girl in the short shorts, then I think that you've got something.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part of Suicide Squad, the reason I sort of gave it a pass, you know, in a little way of ways, was because of Harley and Will Smith. I thought they had such charisma and chemistry, like they were able to distract me enough from a bad movie that I was like, all right, this is like a stupid movie I'd watch on like a Saturday night on HBO sometime in my boxers, whatever. Like it's that sort of movie, right? You're just at home, just in your
Sure, it washes
whatever.
over
It's
you.
on. It's sort of chilly. It's stupid, but that's what I'm worried about. This like. DC desperately needs to step back. I get it. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of franchise tent poles. Like, I get it all. But, like, look at your Deadpool. Look at your Logans, which I think is going to be a big hit, too.
I
like,
agree.
Slow down and focus on the story and the characters. You can tell a great movie with these three characters. Like, I'm just so worried about this universe because there's so many characters already in it. And it's like, I'm worried about that in Marvel, too, to be fair. Like, there's a Civil War, Infinity War. How do you juggle them all? But they've earned it. That you can't knock that. They've done a very good job at building them up over a long game of breadcrumbs that sort of did it. DC has to slow the roll down and figure out, all right, what are our two amazing standalone films? Hopefully it's Wonder Woman. Hopefully it's the Batman movie. But throwing in these Batman villains before we've even gotten a single Batman movie, what's going on?
All I know is this. It can't possibly be as bad as Uma Thurman. As long as it's not the Uma Thurman Poison Ivy or the Halle Berry, I'm
How great,
sorry.
though.
I will take all of those. I will watch that
Schwarzenegger
movie.
cameo as like Mr.
man.
Freeze's like janitor service or something.
Oh, it's rough. Well, hopefully it won't be any of those things, but we want to know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments below. You can tweet us at SJ News, and of course, you can always click here for more Screen Junkies news. Thanks for being with us.